तुलसी महारानी की जय,
जय
देवी की जय,
जय
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, समस्त
जय
गौर भक्त वृंद की जय,
जय।
जय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि
हरि हरि
बोल।
बोल।
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे
All
कृष्ण
glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्ण
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्ण।
All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All
गौर हरि बोल।
glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
सुदेवाय
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं मुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class at ISKCON Philadelphia. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 4. Vidura approaches Maitreya. And today we are reciting text 9. Tasmin Mahabhagavato Dvaipayana Suhrit Sakha Lokan Anucharan Siddha Asasadaya Drichaya. Tasmin Mahabhagavato Dvaipayana Suhrit Sakha Lokan Anucharan Siddha Asasada Yadrichaya. Tasmin Mahabhagavato Dvaipayana Suhrit Sakha Lokan Anucharan Siddha Asasada Yadrichaya. Please chant.
तस्मिन् महाभागवतो द्वैपायनसुहृत्सखा लोकान् अनुचरन् सिद्धः आससादयदृच्छया
तस्मिन् महाभागवतो द्वैपायन सुहृत्सखा लोकान् अनुचरन् सिद्धा आससादाय दृच्छया।
हरे कृष्ण। तस्मिन् महाभगवतो दैपायनासुहृत्सखा लोकान् अनुचरन् सिद्धा असासादाय दीक्षया। हरे कृष्ण।
तस्मिन् महाभागवतो द्वैपायनासृत्सखा लोकान् अनुचरन् सिद्धा आससादा यदृच्छया. हरे कृष्ण.
हरे कृष्ण। तस्मिन् महाभागवतो द्वैपायन सुहृत् सखा लोकान् अनुचरन् सिद्धा आससाद यदृच्छया. हरे कृष्ण.
तस्मिन् महाभागवतो द्वैपायनः सुहृत्सखा लोकान् अनुचरन् सिद्धा आससादाय दृच्छया.
Okay. Word to word translation. Tasmin, then, Mahabhagavataha, a great devotee of the Lord, Dvaipayana, of Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, Suhrit, a well-wisher, Sakha, a friend, Lokan, the three worlds, Anucharan, traveling, Siddhe, in that ashram, Asasada arrived. Yadrichaya, by his own perfect accord. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. At that time, after traveling in many parts of the world, Maitreya, a great devotee of the Lord and a friend and well-wisher of the great sage Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, reached that spot out of his own perfect accord. I'll read the translation once again. At that time, after traveling in many parts of the world, Maitreya, a great devotee of the Lord and a friend and well-wisher of the great sage Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, reached that spot out of his own perfect accord. Purport. Maitreya was one of the disciples of Maharshi Parashara, the father of Vyasdev. Thus, Vyasdev and Maitreya were friends and mutual well-wishers. By some fortunate accident, Maitreya reached the place where Lord Sri Krishna was resting. To meet the Lord is not an ordinary incident. Maitreya was a great sage and a learned scholar, philosopher, but not a pure devotee of the Lord. And therefore, his meeting with the Lord at that time may have been due to Agyata Sukriti or some unknown devotional service. Pure devotees always engage in pure devotional activities, and therefore their meeting with the Lord is natural. But when those who are not up to that standard meet the Lord, it is due to the unforeseen fortune of accidental devotional service. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I would like to offer my humble obeisances to all the assembled respectable senior superior devotees and also to all the devotees. So today we are discussing from the 4th chapter of the 3rd canto, and this chapter is entitled The Meeting of Vidura with Maitreya Muni. Actually, these first 4 chapters are just a background. They are setting the background for the conversation that takes place between Maitreya Muni and Vidura. So we are still in that process of seeing the background. So here in this verse, we see that after all the Yadus fought with each other, killed each other, now Lord Krishna is sitting alone under this leaning against a young banyan tree. And Uddhava, who was actually instructed by Lord Krishna to go to Badrikashram, even before Lord Krishna set out to go to Prabhasa, he instructed Uddhava, he gave instructions to Uddhava, and then told him not to follow him, not to come to Prabhasa, because everyone is going to die there. And Krishna is also going to disappear. And Uddhava would not be able to bear that separation. So Krishna told Uddhava, you go directly to Badrikashram. But Uddhava was unable to stay away from the Lord. So he followed the Lord nevertheless. He just came. But by the time he arrived, what is he seeing? He's seeing Krishna alone sitting under this banyan tree. So today's verse is, at that time, Maitreya Muni also arrived there. Now, who is Maitreya Muni? About Uddhava, we know. Uddhava is an eternal associate of Lord Krishna. He's a pure devotee. He's meeting with Krishna. It's understandable. How did Maitreya Muni get this good fortune of meeting with Krishna? So there, one word is used in the shloka, yadrichaya. Yadrichaya. What is yadrichaya mean?
Suddenly.
I'm just looking at the verse. Yeah. Asasada yadrichaya. By his own perfect accord. Okay. So Maitreya Muni arrived there by his own perfect accord, or accidental devotional service, Srila Prabhupada is saying. When someone who is not up to the standard of pure devotional service, if he meets the Lord, what should you understand? His meeting with the Lord is because of some unforeseen fortune. It is a great fortune, but you cannot understand what is the cause for that fortune. So, in this regard, I would like to discuss this word yadrichaya, explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Madhurya Kadambini. At the beginning of Madhurya Kadambini, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains this, the word yadrichaya. First of all, let us try to understand who actually gets to see the Lord. Only one who receives the mercy of the Lord. Only to that person whom the Lord reveals himself, only that person to whom the Lord reveals himself is able to experience the Lord. Seeing means experiencing. With your eyes you see, with your nose you smell his fragrance, with your ears you hear the sound of his ankle bells, or when he speaks you hear. You can touch the Lord, you can embrace the Lord. All this is possible for whom? Only for a pure devotee. When the Lord reveals himself, when? In the advanced stages of bhakti. First in the stage of bhava, you can experience some features of the Lord, but when you come to the stage of prema, you're actually experiencing the Lord. So who will get to meet the Lord? Only his pure devotees. Now you may get a question, but there are so many people who saw Krishna when he appeared on this world. It's not that everyone was a pure devotee. Kamsa saw Krishna, Duryodhan saw Krishna, Karna, Dushasan, Shakuni, they were all seeing Krishna. Are they also pure devotees? How they are seeing Krishna? In this regard, in another place, in the 10th canto, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, even a jaundiced person is also eating sugar. What is the value of his eating sugar? Is he actually relishing the sweetness? To him, even that sugar appears, tastes bitter. So what is the value of that eating sugar? Eating sugar means, or candy, sugar candy, means you're actually relishing its sweetness. So actually seeing the Lord means appreciating, recognizing him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And naturally, one who recognizes him, he cannot but surrender his life to him. Like he will just become completely flat in front of Krishna. It's natural. So, now what is Maitreya's position? So we hear that Maitreya was a great philosopher and but not a pure devotee. Not a pure devotee. How did he get this good fortune of seeing the Lord? And was his seeing the Lord like Duryodhan seeing the Lord, Kamsa seeing the Lord? Or was he actually recognizing the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? When he came, he was a philosopher. But certainly now he is a Mahabhagavat. Otherwise, why Vidura goes to Maitreya to hear about Krishna consciousness from Vidura? If he's not a Mahabhagavat, Vidura is a Mahabhagavat, Uddhava is a Mahabhagavat, Uddhava is sending Vidura to Maitreya to hear about, Krishna's, the instructions that Krishna gave to Uddhava. Vidura was curious to know. He wanted to know, and Vidura, I hope I'm not confusing the names. Vidura wanted to hear from Uddhava. So Uddhava sends Vidura to Maitreya. So Maitreya is now a Mahabhagavat. That's why Vidura is hearing from Maitreya. But when he first came, was he a Mahabhagavat at that time? No, he was not. Still, he got this good fortune. How did he get this good fortune? So, let's try to understand. We said that one is able to see the Lord, meet the Lord when he is in the advanced stages of bhakti. For someone to come to the advanced stage of bhakti, bhava and prema stages, what does he need? First, he has to become, a pure devotee, right? A pure devotee. Pure devotee means what? Anyabhilashita shunyam, jnana karmadyan avritam, anukulyena krishnanushilanam. This condition has to be satisfied from the very beginning of sadhana bhakti. The definition of pure devotional service applies to all three stages: sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, prema bhakti. All three stages, the definition is the same. Pure devotional service means anya abhilashita shunyam, no desire. Actually, you have to start with krishnanu shilanam. Shilanam means activity. What type of activity? Activity done with your body, mind and words. And anukulyena krishnanushilanam. This activity is done in relation to Krishna in a favorable way. So this means direct devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. And further, there are 64 limbs given by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion. They are all direct devotional service. So first condition of pure devotional service is you have to do direct devotional service to Krishna with either your body, mind or words. Anushilanam means what? It's not that you do once and you stop. Anu means repeatedly. You have to keep doing it again and again. Naturally, devotional service, when you render, it's very pleasing to the heart. So when you find something which is very pleasing, you want to do it again and again. There's no question of stopping it. So this activity of rendering devotional service to the Lord, there's no limit. It's not like you do for this much time and it's over. No, it's not like karma, 9 to 5. No, it's continuous. You have to do it continuously. What else? Anyabhilashita shunyam. This direct devotional service, which is continuously being done, it should not be done in expectation of any result. Anya abhilasha. That means no other desire. Then what abhilasha you should have? Your desire should be to please the Lord only. Not to get liberation, not to get material prosperity, not for anything else, some siddhis or anything. You're doing devotional service simply to please the Supreme Lord. That is the condition of pure devotional service. You have to do continuously direct devotional service, that means Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, without expecting anything save and except pleasing the Supreme Lord. And there's one more condition. Jnana karma adi anavritam. Avritam means to cover. Anavritam means not covering. This devotional service which you are performing, rendering, it should not be covered by jnana, karma, adi. Now let's say you are chanting Hare Krishna and then it becomes interrupted. You stop chanting Hare Krishna and then you do some other activity. During that time, while you're doing some activity, which is not direct devotional service. Now, if you're saying I'm cooking for Krishna, that's direct devotional service. If you say I'm reading Bhagavatam, that is direct devotional service. You're cleaning the temple, it's direct devotional service. Or if nothing else, you're remembering Krishna, whatever verses you memorize, you're recollecting, that's direct devotional service. This direct devotional service means it brings you in direct connection with Krishna. It keeps you in direct connection with Krishna. That's why it is called Sakshat Bhakti. When this direct devotional service is interrupted by either some karma or jnana. What is jnana? I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul. That is also not direct devotional service. And then doing some exercises, yogic practices to bring you to that, that is also not direct devotional service. So when this direct devotional service is interrupted by either karma or jnana, even for a fraction of a second, you cannot call it pure devotional service. So these three conditions have to be satisfied. But what happens in the initial stages is, what is the requirement for one to do pure devotional service? The requirement is Shraddha, faith. So even if you have this faith that I must do only devotional service, I should not do anything else. If you have this faith, naturally, if you have that faith, then there is a symptom. Verbally, I can say, I have faith. But when I have faith, it has to translate into action. What is the symptom of a person who has this faith? He is constantly, at every moment, endeavoring to do this direct devotional service. He's endeavoring. It's another thing that in the initial stages of Anishtita Bhakti, this is also explained in Madhurya Kadambini. Anishtita Bhakti, Bhajana Kriya is, there are two stages, Anishtita and Nishta. Anishtita Bhakti has again 6 stages, how one progresses. During that time, you may fall. You are trying. Your endeavor is there to render devotional service continuously. But because of past samskaras, you're pulled down sometimes. You get, some desire to enjoy some nice food, or maybe you have a desire to, wear some nice clothes or something like that. That which is not sinful. So during that time, even though you're not doing direct devotional service, you may say it is interrupted. But even when he falls, what is his consciousness? He's feeling so heinous about himself. He is condemning himself. I'm such a fallen person. I'm enjoying this sense gratification. My position I'm a servant of Krishna, but I'm so lowly. So that regret keeps him on the platform of devotional service. So you understand now, pure devotional service means even from the very beginning, from, sadhana bhakti itself, this is the requirement for pure devotional service. Then next you may question, what about those who are not doing? Are we karmis or are we devotees? Who are we? So there is, most of us actually fall in the Adau Shraddha. Adau means it is the beginning before Shraddha, the stage before Shraddha. What happens there is, the devotee is aspiring to be a pure devotee, but he has not yet come, his Shraddha is not firmly formed yet. That means he is not endeavoring. That endeavor is required. Endeavoring at every moment to do, endeavoring at every moment to do pure devotional service, that is required. How will you do that? You will do that when you get that type of faith. You get faith in Krishna, you get faith in bhakti about your own position, your relationship with the Supreme Lord, being a part and parcel of Krishna, being a servant of Krishna. My only duty is to please him by rendering devotional service to him. My relationships in this world, the various responsibilities and positions in this world, these are all related to this body. These are temporary. These don't belong to me. My only identity is Jivera Swarupa Hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. So when one gets this type of Shraddha, and when that Shraddha is firm, then he will endeavor at every moment to simply please Krishna. Then you will begin your pure devotional service. And after you begin your pure devotional service, then Krishna comes into picture. Now Krishna will give his mercy. Remember the pastime that we discuss in this month, Damodar month, Kartik month. Yashoda Mai, 2 fingers too short. First, Yashoda Mai is endeavoring, working so hard. That is our sadhana, endeavoring so hard to do devotional service to please Krishna. And when Krishna is pleased by that endeavor, he allows you to see him. This is how a devotee, a pure devotee, gets to see Krishna. Then how does one even begin, right? Is it possible that when we just meet, okay, taking one step back, how does Krishna appear to someone? What is the cause for Krishna's appearing to someone? Krishna is independent. Krishna is supremely independent. He is Swarat. He reveals himself to someone independently. It is, you cannot say there's a cause, right? Because of this reason, now Krishna is revealing himself to someone. You cannot say that. He is supremely independent. This is how the flow goes there. Like Krishna, his bhakti is also independent. The way Krishna is independent, bhakti, what is bhakti? Krishna's Swarupa Shakti. So he has Bahiranga Shakti, Tatastha Shakti, and Swarupa Shakti. Swarupa Shakti means his internal energy. Internal energy again has various components. One of them is Haladini Shakti, the pleasure-giving potency. The condensed form of this pleasure-giving potency is called bhakti. So internal means you cannot separate it from the Lord. So the way Krishna is independent, his internal energy is also independent. How bhakti comes to a person? Bhakti comes to a person not by any cause. That's what we have to see. So there's one verse in the 11th canto. Let me see what that verse is. There's a verse in the 11th canto, 11:28. Okay, 11th canto, 20th chapter, text 8. Mad bhaktim cha yadrichaya. And again, another verse, 11:20, says, Yadrichayaivo pachita. So this word yadricha, which comes in this verse, I'm just quoting from Bhagavatam. What is the significance of this word yadrichaya? Yadrichaya means some unknown cause. You don't know what that cause is. We get bhakti yadrichaya. Somehow or other we get bhakti. But now the Acharya is digging to find out what is that unknown cause. Because even amongst devotees we will hear. Sometimes devotees say, by Krishna's mercy I got bhakti. Or by my Guru Maharaj's mercy I got bhakti. Or by some devotee who gave me a Bhagavad Gita, by his mercy I got bhakti. You may say, exactly what is the cause for this bhakti? Or sometimes you say, some past, sukriti, we did some punya karma, because of which I got bhakti. There are various opinions. Yadrichaya. Why bhakti is coming to us? Yadrichaya. Unknown cause. What is that unknown cause? We have to find out. So, if you say that the cause for bhakti is some pious activity, punya karma, some karma, past sukriti, I did some nice punya karma, because of which now I became a devotee. What is the problem if you say that bhakti is coming from karma? We already said that the Lord is independent. And because bhakti is his Swarupa Shakti, bhakti is also independent. If you say bhakti is coming because of past pious activity, that means now bhakti has become dependent on karma. This is going against the axiom that bhakti is independent, the Lord is independent. It cannot be. You cannot say that because of some sukriti, now I became a devotee. It's ruled out. You cannot accept it. Yes, you all agree? That's what Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying. You cannot say that bhakti is coming because of some past pious activity. Because if you say that, bhakti becomes dependent. Okay, then you will say, okay, then we'll say the definition of this yadrichaya, this unknown good fortune, if we say it is not coming from karma. You can say this good fortune is because of karma, or you can say this good fortune is not because of karma. Is that definition sufficient? I am getting bhakti because of a cause which is not karma. Are you satisfied with that definition? Not karma, but what is it? You want to know. So it's not a complete definition. Acharya Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, no, that is anirvachaniya. There's no explanation there. What is it you don't understand? You just understand it is not karma, but what it is you're not able to tell. So therefore you cannot say that also. Bhakti is coming from karma, ruled out. Bhakti is not coming from karma is also ruled out. Next you say, I'm getting bhakti because of Krishna's mercy. Is that okay? What do you think? Getting bhakti because of Krishna's mercy, you think it's okay? Okay, so I'm getting answers. Yeah, I think so. Actually, no. I'll tell you why. If you say bhakti is coming by Krishna's mercy, Krishna says that I'm equal to everyone, isn't it? Why everyone is not a devotee? Why he is not giving his mercy to everyone? We see only some people are devotees. How many people are there in this world? Is everyone a devotee of Krishna? Is everyone trying to please Krishna, rendering devotional service to Krishna? No. So if bhakti is coming because of Krishna's mercy, why Krishna is giving mercy only to a few people and not giving to everyone else? That means Krishna becomes, there will be a dosha, there will be a fault on Krishna's part, that he's not being equal to everyone. He's only giving bhakti to some people and not giving to others. So therefore you cannot say bhakti is coming from Bhagavan. Bhagavan is giving bhakti. There's one more reason. If you say bhakti is coming from the Lord, the next question will be, Acha, Bhavagrahi Prabhu is saying that not everyone is accepting. He gives it to everyone, but not everyone is accepting. We will come to that also, why everyone is not accepting. But first point is, yeah, he's actually not giving to everyone, because that means the person who is not accepting his whatever, for whatever reason he's not accepting, that is more powerful than Bhagavan. Bhagavan wants to give, but this person is not taking. That means his whatever it is that is not allowing him to take mercy, that is more powerful than Bhagavan. The Lord wants to give and he's not accepting. Right? But anyway, here the thing is, there will be partiality. He's not giving to everyone. Because because then everyone would have been a devotee. Everyone would have been a devotee. Another reason is, if you say Krishna is giving to some people, or he's giving mercy to some people, then some people is giving and other people is not giving. Why he is giving to these people? What is the cause for Krishna's mercy? Right? That question will come. What is the cause? Why he is giving? Oh, he's giving because this person, did something. Okay, then what is the cause for that? What is the cause for that? So as you keep digging, the cause of the cause of the cause of the cause, there is no end to that. So how one gets the mercy of Krishna, you will not be able to, I'm forgetting the word, what it is called, but it will just end up in an infinite loop. You will not be able to find out exactly where that mercy is coming from. Therefore, you cannot accept that Bhagavan is the cause of giving mercy. Karma, no. You cannot say it is not karma also, because that doesn't give an explanation to the definition of this yadrichaya, this good fortune. You cannot say Bhagavan is the cause of this, this good fortune. Because if you say Bhagavan is the cause, there will be a fault on Bhagavan's part, that he's only giving to some and he's not giving to others. And the other problem is, it just ends up in an infinite loop. You won't be able to find out what is the cause for the Lord's mercy, what is the cause for that, and what is the cause for that. So then, what is the next option that we have? What can be the cause for this good fortune of a devotee? Can we say that this is coming from another devotee? Can we receive this good fortune from another devotee? Then you will say, oh, that means the devotee is also being partial. Yes? If there are 20 people in an assembly, and if the devotee chooses to give mercy to 2 people there, okay, then he's being partial, isn't he? All 20 people in the class should become pure devotees by his mercy. Why only 2 people are becoming? That means he gave mercy only to people. 2 people. That means he's also being partial. So there's a fault. Can you say that? No, you cannot say that. Why? For a Madhyama Bhakta, we are running out of time, but Madhyama Bhakta also can be described in Bhakti Sandarbha. Srila Jiva Goswami explains about who is a Madhyama Bhakta. A Madhyama Bhakta, there are many factors on which you can classify devotees as Kanishta, Madhyama and Uttama. So here we are taking a Madhyama Bhakta based on his consciousness. Based on the factor of his consciousness, one who is a Madhyama Bhakta, what is his definition? His definition is, he loves the Supreme Lord, he makes friends with devotees, he ignores the envious, and he shows compassion to the innocent. That means the very definition of a Madhyama Bhakta is, he discriminates. He is partial. There's no fault on his part if he is partial. He will ignore those who are envious, and he will give mercy to those who are innocent. And that is his free will. He can choose, and the Lord also does not interfere with this. One more point is, so now where is this mercy coming from? This beginning of bhakti, how is it coming to any person? We said bhakti is independent. Yadrichaya, it's coming independently. What is the cause for that? The mercy of a devotee. A devotee is giving mercy, and that is where this good fortune begins. So by receiving the mercy of a devotee, now you will get faith. What is the outcome of the mercy of a devotee? The outcome is you develop some faith in Krishna, in bhakti. That is the outcome. How much faith you will develop, it also depends on the faith of that devotee. Faith he has, of course, but it's not that immediately when you receive a book, Bhagavad Gita, it's not that immediately you got firm faith to do devotional service 24 hours. No. You get Komala Shraddha. You get faith tender. The faith is still tender. It is not firm. How to make this faith firm? Now you have to follow the instructions given by the sadhus. You have to sit in the association of sadhus and hear from Bhakti Shastras, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, about the glories of the Supreme Lord, about the glories of Bhakti. And by hearing like this, you will have so many doubts in your heart. They are called Asambhavana and Viparita Bhavana. Asambhavana means this cannot be. It's not possible. When you hear something from Shastra, immediately from within your consciousness, from within your mind, you get doubts. No, 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 this is impossible. How are they saying this? Now you will express your doubt, your questions, and that sadhu will solve them, will explain them, and relieve you of those doubts and questions. Like this, there's an unlimited question. One kind is called Asambhavana. That means if you say Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they'll say, no, that's not possible. How can Krishna be the Supreme Lord? He's a cowherd boy. He gets afraid of his mother. How can he be the Supreme Lord? This is Asambhavana, impossible. And the other type of doubt is Viparita Bhavana. You say Krishna is the Supreme. Why Krishna? Lord Shiva can be the Supreme Lord. I can show you from Shiva Purana. A Lord Brahma can be, or someone else can be. Why only Krishna? This is called Viparita. That means you will have ideas which are against the statements which are given in Shastra. So all these have to be resolved before you can get firm faith and you can endeavor to do pure devotional service. And when you start sadhana bhakti like this, then in the course of that sadhana bhakti, your anarthas are removed. And then at one point, the Lord shows his mercy. By his mercy, then he reveals himself to the devotee. And then the devotee is able to see the Lord. So when you say this yadrichaya, by some unknown good fortune, you should understand what is that good fortune. You should not take it that because he did a lot of austerities or penances, or because he gave a lot of charity, he did some pious activities, because of which he got this good fortune that he's getting the audience of the Lord. No. How should you understand? He got the mercy of some devotee. Which devotee? When? Where? How? I mean, we get some hint here that he's a friend of Vyasdev's. They were both the students of Parashara Muni. But it is not only in this life. Even in previous lifetimes, your journey must have started. Somewhere you received the very beginning of a living entity's bhakti starts with the association of a sadhu. I will stop here to take any questions because I am expecting some questions, and then we will see. So does anyone have any comments or questions, please? No?
Mataji,
Yes, Mataji.
I have this yadrichaya, this thing, because of this Zoom and these Bhagavatam classes. That is really yadrish for me. Because this is helping me a lot. Every day I sit in the morning. First thing I sit and I'm so curious about the saying that sloka and getting that meaning. I don't know how much I am getting into my mind. But I do that every day. So this is what I don't know whether Krishna did or what happened to me. Every day, Yadricha, I'm getting these classes. I'm attending these classes.
Yadrichaya is like the very beginning, the very first time when you got somehow, how you got that mercy. That is the mercy of some devotee. And then you associate with devotees and you continue like that.
With all of everybody, every day, different speakers are there.
Yes.
So that is what that mercy I got it now.
Yes, Mataji.
I'm trying my best to understand what I'm getting. I'm just least knowledge. I don't have any knowledge. But all these years, I never had this opportunity. So that is what I got this opportunity now. I was reading Bhagavad Gita, I was saying slokas and everything I was doing, but I don't know. I know the meaning and everything. And fortunately, I am a Telugu person. I know that Sanskrit words and everything. But this is the one I'm getting now.
Thank you, Mataji.
That's
Dronacharya Prabhu's question.
Thank you very
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Mother Archana Bhakti. Thank you. it got very technical, and I appreciate the depth that you went into. I almost need a chart to kind of, I think you need to, if you could at some point summarize that into to a chart, that would be helpful, because you're going step by step by step.
Yeah.
And it was very good. I really appreciate the depth you were going into. I had a question though. Sometimes we read passages that indicate that it's our pious activities, or it leads us to believe that it's through our pious activities that one develops faith in Krishna. The one that comes to mind, right now is when we say Mahaprashade Govinde, Nama Brahmani Vaishnave, Swapa Punya Vacham Rajan, Vishvasone Vijayate. And it says, those who have amassed very few pious activities,
Yes.
their faith in Mahaprashadam, the holy name, Sri Govinda, the Vaishnavas,
Yes.
Never take place.
Right.
So how do we reconcile a statement like that? If you haven't, it kind of leads you to believe that if you haven't done these pious activities, this faith will never be born. But at the same time, bhakti is independent.
Yes, very nice, Prabhuji. Very nice question. There are other verses also. Even in Bhagavad Gita 7:28, Yesham Twantagatam Papam Jananam Punya Karmanam Te Dvandva Moha Nirmukta Bhajante Mam Dridavratah. There you will see that someone whose all his sinful activities are finished, and he has a big, Jananam Punya Karmanam, he has a big accumulation of Punya Karma. Only such a person, all his sins are finished and he has a big accumulation of pious activities. Only such a person can have this determination to do devotional service. It is said there. How to reconcile this? Also, in another place we see in Srimad Bhagavatam that when you do your activities according to Varnashrama Dharma. Now, what are Varnashrama Dharma? Varnashrama Dharma means these are activities, material activities, according to your duties, according to your Varna, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. When you do your activities according to that, it will result in Vasudeva Katharuchi. When you do Varnashram Dharma, it will end up in Vasudeva Katharuchi. Vasudeva Katharuchi means this is direct devotional service. Hearing about Krishna, you're getting a taste for devotional service by doing pious activities. That means bhakti is coming from pious activities, you may think. So, it is explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in that Bhagavad Gita verse in that context. The connection, let me tell you the connection first between pious activities and bhakti. It's not directly connected, but there are three modes. There's mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. Mode of passion and ignorance, the activities which are done in motion and in the modes of passion and ignorance, they are impious activities. Ugra karma, as you say. These activities are not conducive to devotional service. Devotional service is independent, no doubt. But where there is a favorable atmosphere, the candidate, devotional service is not dependent, but the candidate, the person, when he is performer, when he is in an atmosphere of the mode of goodness, he can actually, because mode of goodness is Sattvat Sanjayate Jnanam. When you are in the mode of goodness, knowledge is produced. What is that knowledge? That I am not this body, I am a spirit soul. You are able to rise above the bodily platform when you are in the mode of goodness. Therefore, mode of goodness is conducive. When you do all these pious activities, which is dharma, right? Giving charity, performing austerities, like, in Kartik month, people perform austerities. All these activities, giving charity, austerity, yagya, as prescribed by Shastra, not just whimsically, but as prescribed by Shastra. When you do, it brings you to the mode of goodness, and mode of goodness is a favorable ground where devotional service can flourish. It's just like having a fertile land. Mode of goodness is like a fertile soil. Simply having a fertile soil is not sufficient to have a plant. You need to have that seed. Until and unless the seed is planted, there won't be any crop there. But if you put that seed in a barren land, then even though the seed is very viable, right? It is very good, but still because of bad conditions, it's not able to thrive there. That's what mode of goodness does. So when you are in the mode of goodness, that means when you're living your life according to Shastric injunctions, then that punya karma offers a favorable ground for your devotional service to flourish. Devotional service itself is not dependent, but for me, it helps. Was that helpful, Dronacharya Prabhu?
Yeah, so that explains how if I understood correctly, how our pious activities or our good karma that we may do may flourish. But how then would that not mean that devotional service wouldn't be dependent upon the good soil that
No, it's
you know
not.
we're
It's not
planting on?
dependent because that seed is devotional service. Where are you getting that seed from? So even if you're doing only pious activities, life after life, you can be only doing pious activities. You will never go to Goloka. You will not get love of Godhead. You will only get love of Godhead when you come in the association of one who has love of Godhead. Bhakti comes from bhakti.
Okay. Yes.
So when a devotee who has that love gives it to you, that's when you get it. But for you to keep it, you need a favorable ground. Otherwise, you will lose it.
Yes, that makes sense. I think it's a very important point that you're bringing up, and it's also a point of confusion for many people. They think due to pious activity or even doing devotional service is on the level of pious activity, coming, seeing the deities, offering obeisances, bringing some foodstuffs, but it's really in a different category of itself. It's not karmic activity. These are devotional service. But a lot of people see it as this is going to generate good karma for me,
Yeah.
and it'll be able to fulfill my material desires as a result of it.
Yeah. Just one more quick point here before I take Vishnugada Prabhu's and Pranath Prabhu also raised. But here one more point is that bhakti, when you say, we are talking about pure devotional service. But bhakti itself is what do you call sakshat bhakti, as I said, direct devotional service. So direct devotional service, that activity will give you result. That is why the definition anyabhilashita means not desiring anything else. But somebody can be doing this sakshat bhakti, like offering obeisances or chanting Krishna's names, but expecting some material result. That will be like a pious activity. Although they're doing bhakti, but through bhakti, they want some material result, and that is what they will get. They will not get love of Godhead. If that's what they're desiring, that's what they will get. But that is why pure devotional service means not simply chanting. What is the consciousness when you're chanting? Not expecting anything in return. Not even identifying with this body. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam hrishikena hrishikesha sevanam bhaktiruttama. Pure devotional service means not even identifying with this body. That I belong to this family or this country or this is my designation. So yeah, all that when you can do sakshat bhakti and you can get some material result, but that is like, it's not really, it's like getting something most valuable and using it cheaply for, you get $1,000 and you go buy one candy for $1,000 like that. It can give you love of Godhead, but instead of that, you're just settling for something very insignificant. Thank you, Prabhuji. So Vishnugada Prabhu.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I was thinking a very good illustration of this point that you're making is the pastime of King Nriga in Srimad Bhagavatam. You find that he was a great king, and he was doing all kinds of pious activities, giving in charity, planting trees, digging wells, and he got the association of Krishna after being cursed by the Brahmin because he gave. And so you could think, well, my God, I should start planting trees and digging wells. That's my thing. But then we find in the description of this background history of in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it wasn't because he planted trees and dug wells, but because he did devotional service for a devotee who came to his palace, and that was the thing. So the same idea that you're expressing is there in the pastime of King Nriga,
Yes.
because he did two things. He the devotee requested a copy of the Srimad Bhagavatam, so he made a big deal and got him a copy of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and then he wanted him to erect a temple for Lord Vishnu, so he did that also under the direction of a devotee. So that's the reason, not because he planted trees.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. In this regard, also, I remember one more thing that was explained in Bhakti Sandarbha, that when actually there was an offense on his part also. The offense was when you are, because he says, I'm your pure devotee, my Lord, I'm your pure devotee. When you are a pure devotee of the Lord, why do you have to depend on these other activities like giving charity? No. See, the section I told you, before entering pure devotional service, there is that space, we are still aspiring. Then you take whatever help you need in order to come to the platform of pure devotional service. So there you may sometimes take help, Srila Rupa Goswami says. You may take help from some jnana, like, to fix your mind on Krishna, you take some help, even trying to realize that I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul. But all this is meant to help you to come to pure devotional service. Once you enter pure devotional service, you surrender to the Lord. Now you should not go back and depend on other things. Like, oh, if I do some charity, that will also add to my, I will do a little bit of this and little bit of that. No, that's actually not correct. That becomes an offense. That I'm doing devotional service, but still I have faith in other things. That actually becomes an offense. So in his case, he had to go to hell also for that, for giving all that charity and all that he did. He had to see hell, although he was a devotee. Of course, that was it was like a punishment in the case of a devotee. And then again, he gets once you become a devotee, there's no, you're never lost. But if you commit offenses, then it is, delayed for some time. But thank you so much, Vishnu Gada Prabhu, for that input. Prannath Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for the wonderful class. I just remembered something from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where that, Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jiva, Guru Krishna Prasad Paye Bhakti Lata Bij. So here we are saying that it's because of a pure devotee's mercy that I get bhakti, right?
Yes.
In that purport, I remember Krishna says that because the living entity desired to come closer or to associate, that Krishna arranges for all this.
Yes.
And then I also was remembering about the 9 stages of bhakti, Atau Shraddha. So that Shraddha is there in the living entity, or that was also instilled by some pure devotee? A little, if you can clarify that. And then I also was in the same lines, I was thinking, I hear many times the seed of bhakti was instilled by a devotee, right? The seed of bhakti.
Yes.
But we also hear that dormant love is there, right, in the heart. So is that awakening of that dormant love, or?
No, I'll tell you, Prabhuji. Okay, step by step. So first thing is, Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Lata Bij. If I just tell you the sequence, I think all your questions will be answered. So Adav Shraddha. So Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishta Ruchi, Asak, like that. So beginning is Adav. Adav is explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur as Sadhu Sangha. So there is Sadhu Sangha after Shraddha. But there is also sadhu sangha before Shraddha. Adau means the beginning. What is the beginning? The beginning is association. What is that association? That's what we are talking about here. That mercy somebody has given you. You got that sadhu sangha, some devotee who has that bhakti has given you, because of which now your Shraddha is awakened. So did you have Shraddha before? No. You didn't have Shraddha before. Shraddha comes when, by the mercy of a devotee. Shraddha for what? For bhakti. Shraddha for Krishna, towards Krishna. Shraddha to do bhakti. But this is not full Shraddha yet. It's the beginning. You get little bit of Shraddha. That happens in Adav, in the associate. Then what you have to do? Most of us are actually in Adav stage only. So in that stage, we sit in the association of devotees, hear from them, hear from the pure devotees, or you hear from Shastras, Bhakti Shastras, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. And by this, you are building your Shraddha. When you get a firm faith, then you enter into pure devotional service. There is Sadhu Sangha again. What is that Sadhu Sangha? So in the beginning, what you do is you have to Guru Padashrayaha. You take shelter of a spiritual master. You take Diksha. You take shelter of a spiritual master. Again, spiritual masters are also of different kinds. You have Shravana Guru, you have Diksha Guru, you have Bhajana Shiksha Guru. So each one has a different role to play. But here we are saying you take shelter of a Guru, and then the Guru instructs you what type of sadhus you should associate with, what type of sadhu sangha you should have. So like, for example, like-minded, sajatiya sadhus. You are not instructed to go and associate with, there are many Vaishnavas, right? There are Sri Vaishnavas, there are, from Kumar Sampradaya, you have other Vaishnavas also. But Guru tells you what type of sajatiya Vaishnavas. Sajatiya means those who are worshipping the same deity. Like Krishna, Radha Krishna only we worship. The Guru does not instruct you to go and worship, associate, live with the devotees or worshipping, some other form of the Lord. Because this is conducive. This is your line. So that what type of sadhus you should associate, Guru is telling you. That is that sadhu sangha. That starts in pure devotional service. Okay. So, first thing. So, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. How that works is, first you get mercy from a sadhu, by which you get Shraddha. Now, like Bhavagrahi Prabhu just said, that everyone receives mercy, but not everyone is accepting it. Not everyone receives mercy, but even after receiving mercy, not everyone is accepting it the same way. Someone progresses rapidly and someone else just takes years and years and years and he's not able to progress. That means someone is sincere, someone is not sincere, or not as sincere. So, why some people are sincere and some people are not so sincere? Because of the baggage of anarthas that they are carrying. It's not that after coming to Krishna consciousness, then we do offenses. No, we are already carrying a baggage of offenses. We have sins and we have offenses also. Someone who has a lot of offenses, he's not able to take the mercy when it comes. What will happen to him? He will need a very powerful sadhu. Depending on the power of the sadhu, what is his power? His love. The more love a sadhu has, the more powerful he can kick away the anarthas. Not all of them, but sufficient anarthas are removed, by which he can at least start the process. But if someone is having a lot of baggage and the sadhu is giving mercy, he doesn't have so much potency, he's not able to, help that person overcome those anarthas and take to the process. He's not able to take. So the point is, some people are sincere, some people are not so sincere, and some people have kapata. Kapata means wickedness in the heart, not being straightforward. It's the opposite of simplicity. So such people, for them, it's very complicated. It's very difficult for them to surrender to Krishna. So first you got mercy of sadhu. By the mercy of sadhu, you got some shraddha. Now accepting that shraddha, you're practicing. When you're practicing, depending on your sincerity, Krishna will guide you to a particular guru. What type of guru you will get depends on your sincerity. Who is arranging your guru? Krishna is arranging your guru. That is why Guru Krishna, Kripaya Pai, Bhakti Lata Bij. So first you got Sadhu's mercy, then Krishna is arranging your guru. That is why this Sadhu's mercy envelopes Krishna's mercy. You come in touch with the Sadhu, inside that Sadhu's mercy is Krishna's mercy. So first is not Krishna's mercy, first is Sadhu's mercy. When you receive Sadhu's mercy, inside that will be Krishna's mercy, and Krishna will give you your guru. And which guru you will get, that depends on your sincerity. How sincere you are, that type of guru you will get. If you're not a very sincere person, you won't get a very sincere guru like that. What else did you ask? Did your questions, all questions
Yes,
are
ma'am.
answered?
So the desire to associate is also coming
From the first sadhu. That is the root actually.
Yeah.
You didn't have that before. Yeah, one more point that you had said. So we say that the living entity already has love in his heart. See, the living entity is a part and parcel. Jivera swarupa hoy Krishnera nityadas. Just like my body has this finger. Being a part of this body, this finger is supposed to serve this body. That is the swarupa of this finger. Being a part and parcel of the Lord, being his Shakti, we are meant to serve him. Tatastha Shakti, the living entity Atma. So the swarupa of Atma is to serve the Supreme Lord. That understanding, that much, that is its constitutional position. The constitutional position of the living entity is just like the constitutional position of a fish is to be in water. Like that, the constitutional position of the living entity is to serve the Supreme Lord. Now, does he have that love that I should surrender to the Supreme Lord? No, he doesn't have that. Because if you say that the living entity already had this love for the Supreme Lord in his heart and now he's covered by Maya, you know what you're saying then? That means Maya is more powerful than Bhakti. Somebody who has this love of Godhead is now covered by Maya. Maya is more powerful than Bhakti? Cannot happen.
Yeah.
So that's why he doesn't have this love. But he will receive this love from someone who has that love. That is why we are so dependent on the mercy of the devotees of the Lord. Now, final point is, then you may say, so the sadhu is the cause for the love. How you're saying this bhakti is independent? Where did that sadhu get his bhakti from? He got it from another sadhu. Where did that sadhu get it? He got it from another sadhu. What is the source of this bhakti? Krishna Swarupa Shakti. So, bhakti is coming from him only. Bhakti is the cause for bhakti. Bhakti is not coming from any external sources. Bhakti is coming from bhakti.
Thank you, Mataji.
It's actually, it's a 10-day, 15-day course. And each section is, like each session goes for hours. It's not, I know I didn't do justice, but at least, just, it's like just giving you, a hint, like, oh, this is what it is. And then.
A lot of details, Mataji.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. So so basically, bottom line is the desire also, no matter what, ultimately it is because of the mercy of the devotee, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's
the beginning, the mercy. And one more thing is, there is what is called association and there is mercy. Devotee association is sufficient for someone who does not have many offenses. Simply by coming in the association, he can take to devotional service. Whereas someone who has a lot of offenses, simple association is not sufficient. He needs special mercy, like deliberate mercy. Somebody who is deliberately giving mercy to that person, wanting that person to become a devotee. That is required in the case of someone who has a lot of offenses. But if you don't have many offenses, that's why what Drodacharya Prabhu asked, someone who has that pious background, that means there are no offenses in his heart. There's no sins in his heart. then it's a very fertile ground. As soon as you put a seed, just little bit of association, immediately he'll take to Krishna consciousness. But that connection is essential. Without connection, nothing will happen. It will have to start from a devotee. So with that,
And then sorry, also then I was remembering about, Krishna present in the heart of every living entity. And
that's another explanation. He's there in the heart as Paramatma. Okay, very good points actually. Everything that you're asking is completely valid and it's described there. So Krishna is there in the heart as Paramatma. What is the role of Paramatma? Like a judge. If somebody is getting, he's giving capital punishment to someone, or he's giving the inheritance. Someone is getting millions of dollars in inheritance. Is the judge going to become happy, or this person is getting money? Is he becoming sad? No, he's neutral. He's just giving according to their, whatever they deserve. So as Paramatma, Krishna doesn't get involved with this person. Oh, he's a thief. I have to punish him. No, he has no feelings. Paramatma, he just gives as Paramatma. Paramatma doesn't interfere with bhakti. No, he doesn't give bhakti. Paramatma gives you the results of your karma. That's all. But when you turn to Krishna, then who is Paramatma? Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdate. Same person. He is only known as Bhagavan, Paramatma and Brahman. But he will act differently to different worshippers. So he appears as Paramatma to those who are not devotees. But as soon as you turn to him, surrender. Turn means what? Surrender. Pure devotee, right? Conditions apply. When you become a pure devotee, when you fully surrender to the Lord, now you become his person. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshosti na priyaha. I don't envy anyone. I'm not partial to anyone. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. But when one becomes my devotee, he is in my heart, I am in his heart. It's like, a lover and his beloved. You are me and we are inseparable. We love each other. Like that. The Lord becomes like that with his devotee. And anyone who harms his devotee, he considered that person to be his enemy. Like Prahlad Maharaj. He was being tortured by Hiranyakashipu. The Lord treated Hiranyakashipu like his enemy. He fought with him. He killed him. And still he was angry. Even after killing, he was not. This is Bhagavan. So this is how he reciprocates when one becomes a devotee. But if he is not a devotee, Paramatma, he will just give you, this is your karma, this is your result. He is not going to teach you about bhakti. If he tells you about bhakti, he tells you, go to this temple, you become a devotee, then again he'll become partial. Why he's telling only this person? Why not all the people of Philadelphia? He can tell everyone, go to ISKCON and everyone become pure devotees. He can suggest, right? Why he's not telling everyone? Then he'll become partial. So as Paramatma, he won't do. First, devotee has to come and give mercy. When devotee gives mercy, the Lord's mercy will follow. After the devotee, like Advaita Acharya prayed, my Lord, please come. This world is, everyone is completely caught up in this material activities. Even in the name of being Brahmanas, they are just simply absorbed in material activity. Unless you come, they cannot be changed. Advaita Acharya is the devotee who's giving mercy there. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. And now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is delivering everyone. Is he giving mercy on his own? No, he's coming because of the prayer of Advaita Acharya. The Lord comes because of the devotee. His mercy follows a devotee's mercy.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you. Pranath Prabhu. 1 second, Mataji. Pranath Prabhu finished?
Yes. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Suman Prabhu, Mataji. Yes.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Very nice thought-provoking class. We just bhakti we get from the other devotee. And in my case, I got it from my grandparents, I think, and the parents. It is reminding me of one shloka from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna says the devotees who are my direct devotees are not actually my devotees, but who are my devotees are my actually my devotees. That means because they can give bhakti to other people. That's what I am thinking.
Yes, thank you.
And another little doubt I have, that when we do a lot of charity, so we don't know the level of their bhakti, other people's bhakti. So we might get by
karma.
We might get agyat sukriti, because there might be a devotee we don't know. But if we do
like that, that becomes service. Yeah. Mataji is saying, Suman Mataji is saying, you may give a donation to a devotee, not knowing that he's a devotee. Then unknowingly you
I'm saying,
rendered some service.
apatradanam.
Not apatra. Here he is giving to a devotee.
Oh, she's
Unknowingly, you're donating to a devotee, not knowing he's a devotee, and that goes into your credit as serving a Vaishnava, she's saying. Yes.
Yeah, I think that is all the reason that I got, because of my bhakti, unknowing bhakti. I think somewhere I did, or my grandparents' parents' blessing, they were devotees. So I think I'm very grateful, and that's why I'm listening to hear everyone and your class.
Thank you.
And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Very
you.
nice class.
Thank you. Way past time. I'm sorry.
So, we're all enjoying this.
Grantaraj,
We want to know a lot of
ki
things.
jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Panchakalpata.
Ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna
Panchakalpatarubhyascha
Mataji.
kripa
Hare Krishna.
sindhubhya patitanam pavane.
Vaishnava.
Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Yeah.
Hare
This is a very good discussion, Mataji. Thank you so much. And all the
It's
devotees.
very nice, very nice.
It can be a confusing topic, a lot of kind of details, little intricacies. But this is what this type of sangha helps us understand it better.
Yeah.
So thank
I
you so
actually
much.
wanted to use an XP pen on a whiteboard and draw it. I was thinking it may not be appropriate for a Bhagavatam class, but if you like, from next time I can use that. So I think it will become more visible. I don't know if
Yeah. As you were talking, I think I mentioned, there's like a chart kind of, because the terms were technical, and you were drawing like, if it's not this, then it goes to this, and then I thought it was very good. Just my mind, I was trying to picture it all kind of coming together in summary. That's why I mentioned that.
Put it for us also, Mataji.
Yeah.
Next time when I do something like this, like if I'm actually explaining, I'll use some drawings then. I think that will be helpful.
Yeah.
Sure.
Krishna.
I would appreciate that.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Mataji.
Thank
Very
you.
nice.
Yeah.